All right, we are poised and ready to go.
Okay. Hello, Robert. How are you today, this evening, this afternoon? I don't know what day it is, but hello.
Hey.
Hello and welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you for bringing me on to your show. I look forward to sharing what I have to say with the millions of viewers that you have globally.
Oh, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Absolutely. He's speaking it into the universe, I think.
I like that. I like the way he's talking. It's coming.
Yeah.
Think big. Think big.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is great. That's part of what we talk about is mindset. Mindset's huge. We talk about that almost every week, don't we?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
And now it's my turn. That's my
Absolutely. And we want to hear everything you have to say about that. But first, tell us, how did you get into music? Tell us about that.
Wow. That's going way back. I have there's actually a recording that exists on a YouTube video of me singing Zippity Doo Dah when I'm 3 years old.
Aww.
You can dig it up. But let's see, music. Really, I would say probably when I was 14, 15 years old, somebody turned me on to Ozzy Osbourne and Maiden and a bunch of heavy metal rockers from the 80s, and it just seeped into my soul, and it and there it stayed. So that was the beginning. But in regards to voice coaching and singing seriously and training seriously, that's a different kind of inspiration. That started a few years after that, maybe good 5 to 6 years, when I started listening to Jeff Tate from Queensryche and Steve Perry from Journey, and these fellows that would sing, male voices that would bridge the passaggio, enter the head voice, and yet remain sounding modal, full, and chesty. I've always had a fetish for that. I love the masculinity behind it. I love the heroism that sort of comes from belting in the head voice. So is that answering your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love the glam rock era for sure. And, I grew up on it, dig it. And Steve Perry is an all-time favorite. Journey, lead singer for oh my gosh. Grace Slick was the lead singer for a long time. And then this guy came in really young. Jefferson Starship.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I wish I could remember his name, but
I used to know it.
Yeah, but he's the guy. Yeah, no, he's the guy that sings.
Oh, we lost your sound.
No. It's you and me, girl. No, you can't hear that, or you do.
Can you hear us, Robert? Because we can't hear you all of a sudden.
You can't hear me?
I can hear him. You missed that solo. I heard it.
Can you hear me, Denise? Hello, Denise. Denise can't hear me. I can hear you, Denise. I can hear you. And Tony can hear me.
Tony, can you hear Robert?
Yes.
We can hear
you. You can hear Robert. So it's just me. Oh my God.
That's why I said.
What the hell? All right, hang on.
So anyways, who is that guy? Mickey, it's coming.
Mickey. Okay, yes, thank you. All right, it's the earbuds.
Jefferson Airplane.
Turned into Jefferson Starship when he came on.
Starship. Mick or Mickey, forgive me on that, but he's the one that sings that amazing song. You guys all know it. Jane, you think it's all over for you and me, girl. Ba, 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 ba,
Yes.
keyboard stab, ba, da, 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 time, ba, da, 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 wa, ba, ba, da, da. That is the
That.
best vocal track, I tell you, man. I made a post on that on my Facebook group,
Jane,
coincidentally.
you think it's all over. That's what he does.
Jane, you're right. Yeah, it's a D. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're off to a good start. Great singers, rockers. That's what does it for me. That's it. We can wrap this whole thing up. I mean, it's male voices that are super high. I don't give a darn about glam or what they're wearing. It's all
Right.
about the technique. It's about their voice. It's about the precision and the training that it takes to be able to do that. To belt in your head voice like that and not hurt yourself and get vibrato behind it and everything, it is superhuman, and I love it.
Yeah, who's the big rocker from like the 80s, maybe late 80s, mid 80s perhaps, and it was a very hardcore band and the tenor would just rock out high C's all the time.
I'm gonna just take a guess. Was it distortion? Was it distortion-y sort of, or was it clean?
It was clean.
Oh boy, that's gonna be more difficult. You know, here's the thing. In the 80s, which is part of why we got here, there were a lot of cats that were doing that. It was a thing. It was a trend
Right.
to be a male voice, go super high, belt super high with vibrato and a sort of kind of pseudo classical precision to the training. And I fell right into that trend as a kid. And that's why, you know, for me, vocal training and singing has always been, in addition to the art and the pleasure of it, has always been a lot about training, practicing, and working on your skills, because you cannot sing like those guys did in the late 70s, more into the 80s, unless you've got some kind of training. I mean, there's a few exceptions, people, but you know, if you work on your chops, you can get there.
Right.
Then the grunge scene hit, and suddenly it's really sad. Suddenly it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to bridge to passaggio and have beautiful lyrical vibrato and power in the head voice. It was just sort of shouting.
Yeah, well, same for women, same for rocking women, right? Like Pat Benatar and all the oh my gosh, the sisters, the two sisters, the Lennox sister, not Lennox. Yeah, well, Annie Lennox for sure, but
Ann and Nancy Wilson.
the Wilson sisters.
So
of heart.
The Wilson sisters and Jeff Tate from Queensryche and Chris Cornell and Lane Staley and Liza Minnelli and a bunch of other people, we all had the same voice coach. It's a little bit about my past. So there's a famous voice coach from Seattle. He's no longer with us. His name is Maestro David Kyle. Mm-hmm. And so we were from the Kyle camp. And Maestro Kyle did some really interesting things that I continue to do today as an inspiration. He trained with a microphone. Mm-hmm. So you go to a Maestro Kyle lesson, you would train with amplification. He was very much on passaggio bridging and head voice work. So yeah, that's where Ann Wilson came from. She's absolutely amazing.
Love her. Always loved her. Loved her. And the thing is then after that, then they, you know, you're right. Not only did it not become cool for for males, but it also wasn't cool for women, right? Like singing breathy became the thing. Just drove me nuts.
I didn't know that, but when I hear female voices that don't belt and get some fat and some closed quotient, get some, you know, some connectivity up there, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me singing windy and sort of the easy stuff without compression and belty closed quotient. It doesn't work for me. Why? Because it's kind of easy to do that, isn't it? Isn't it sort of easy to open the glottis and blow wind?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think most, you know, especially in the early 2000s and in the 2000s, most female pop singers, my hairdryer had more closure in its vocal folds. I mean, it's just so breathy and uninteresting. So I feel like we missed this entire generation of these truly great pop singers that could just wail and belt anything. And then all of a sudden we didn't have that anymore.
You know, those kinds of singers do still exist. You can go to these singing shows, and sometimes it's like, you know, there's often like fantastically talented people. It's just that the industry doesn't put them forward.
Right.
If the industry put forward the Ann Wilsons of today and they are out there, then the consumers would love it.
Yep, absolutely. So, okay. So you came in as a singer, and then you studied with the dude in Seattle.
Maestro
and
David Kyle.
Maestro
Yep.
David, yeah.
Yep.
And then you started teaching lessons.
I did. I was a technology sales guy in the internet bubble blow up, and when the bubble popped in the late 90s, it was really difficult to find a job. And I was a singer, and so I thought, gosh, you know, I need to pay my bills. I'm gonna start teaching. Part-time thing, see what I can do. And I started teaching, and one student turned into three students turned into five students turned into all weekend, and all weekend turned into a full week thing. And I suddenly slipped into something that I had absolutely no plan to do. It's not my plan to become a voice coach, really. It's just, I sort of got pulled into it because I'm sort of like an idiot savant at it. Like, it's like this, I'm like really good at voice coaching. And so I just stuck with it and played it all the way through.
Why do you think you're so good at it? I mean, what do you think made you so good at it? Is it figuring out your own voice? Is that?
Well, it sounds sort of weird. Well, I think I'm so good because
No, I realized once I asked it what that sort of sounded like. That's not how I meant it.
But it's okay. I am good.
Clearly. But I feel like people who, okay, here's my theory. My theory is that
I'll answer that question honestly.
Okay.
I can answer that. I think that I spent 12 years with Maestro Kyle, and he was really a flamboyant, charismatic, old school maestro. He had, for example, he had really super long, gray, silvery braid hair that went down to his ass. And so and that wasn't the only coach I've had, but my first coach was him. And I was I think from him, not realizing it at the time, or even when I was beginning to coach, but looking back at it, I realized that some of my ability to sort of listen and respond and have intuition towards what I'm hearing and how to get a complex and abstract idea explained properly for a student to get a result came from 12 years of working with a really brilliant voice coach, a world-class coach. So that has a part of it. The other part of it is that I've always trained. I eat my own dog food, I practice, and even the programs and the scale and the courses that we produce have content in it, vocalist content that I've written and developed. So when students train with me, they're training my content, our skills, my workouts. And so I'm very much on the front lines, demonstrating, leading by example. And so when you're doing that, when there's two mics in the room and you're training with your student, there's that's a powerful teaching tool and a way to get people to move forward. And then one more thing I'd like to share with you on that. When I was developing as a voice coach, there was a period of time, I specifically remember this, there was a period of time where I would use the coaching experience with live students as a means to practice. And I think we all do that, but I was very conscientiously practicing on my student, and I was practicing my talk track. So I would say, gosh, I got 8 hours. I got to do this for 8 hours today. Other than offering a good service, what else can I do to get the most out of this? So I went through a period of time where I would practice explaining things like vocal modes and formants and vowels and whatever it is that we talk about as voice coaches and what that did is it made me get better and better and better at explaining these abstract concepts, and to a point where I just had it all scripted in my head. And that really helped a lot when I made a conscientious effort to get better.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you something. When you have a student that you feel like has like enormous talent, and the chops are there, the voice is there, but you can't just get them to move forward, how important do you think mindset is in that regard?
When you say move forward, let's clarify, move forward with what?
Maybe their own vocal technique, maybe not being in their own head, perhaps.
Okay, so if I have somebody with great talent, obviously great talent, and there is a sense of not moving forward, more times than not, that would mean, quite frankly, they're not practicing and doing the work. So what would I do with that particular case study? I would, I tend to teach with tough love from time to time. I would say, Joe, stop. Turn vocalies off. We have pre-recorded tracks. Hang up my microphone. It's a little bit of an act. Hang up my microphone and say, you haven't practiced. I know you haven't. You're not going to fool me. I've been doing this since I'm 15 years old, and I've been doing it for 8 hours every day for 15 years. You haven't practiced. Oh gosh, yeah, I know. Oh, you got me. Yeah, I haven't, you know. Well, here's the deal. If you want to achieve the goal and the dreams and all these things that we talked about when you first came in, heck, it's what we talked about at the beginning of this lesson. We talk about it at every lesson. You're going to have to put in the time. So make a decision whether or not you're going to do that or not, and let me know. Apart from the fact that my time is valuable as well. And I would like to know that the time and energy I'm putting into this that I'll never get back is going to be time that will account for something. So is it just a little bit of a shaming session or whatever, or a reality check session? That's what I would do. I don't babysit students. It doesn't work. I don't coddle students. That definitely doesn't work.
Right.
If they're, adults. And when they're kids, I don't even coddle them really. Either you're going to step up and do the work and train and practice and get better and commit to it, or you're not. And if you're not, it's fine. It's okay. Go sing. Love it. Make it part of your life. But there's a different level of person that puts in the time and energy and works on their chops. And so you have to sort of decide what kind of career path you want, or what kind of relationship you want with singing, with vocal training. And it's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. I don't want to give that impression. It's just, what do you want to be? Do you want to be sort of the amateur guy that gets by good enough, or do you want to be the person that absolutely floors people every single night and quite possibly gets a better gig and actually gets paid?
Right.
It's your decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I'm a tough love kind of teacher. So
I don't own my students' lack of motivation. I don't own it one bit. It can come and go.
yeah, that's pretty hard, I think, for a lot of teachers. I think a lot of teachers sort of, their students' failure and or successes are their own. And I try not to own that. I try to be like, this is your success or your failure. It is not mine. I've done my part. You got to do yours.
Amen, Denise, especially as you get deeper into your career. Early on, you're bending over backwards. You got a bigger heart the size of Texas. And we always do, but I'm bending over backwards for sure early on in my career. As time goes on, you just realize you just sort of get tired of that. In part because you just know it's not working. So you just get to the point at some point in your career as a voice coach where, my door is open. If those of you that are going to train, great. And those that are not going to train, great. Either way, I'm going to get paid. I'm going home tonight. And you know, I love you all, but I don't own your failure. And I'm not here to babysit. It's you. That might sound sort of cold, I suppose, but after 20 years, 15, 20 years, coaches can kind of get to that point. And I think it's a healthy position.
I think it is too, for
It's
sure.
healthy.
Right.
For sure.
You have to protect yourself as a voice coach.
Mm.
Voice coaches get very attached to their students, or can get attached to their students.
They can get it attached to the outcome too.
Right.
The student winning, the student getting better gigs, the student having success.
It's too much burden to bear.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much burden to bear. And so my advice for coaches would be to not bear that burden.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have people that are go-getters that are going to get it done, that are going to make you proud, that are going to get better. So it's not like you're not going to have that really great story to tell, and you know, a handful of like 10 or 15 people that are kicking butt. That's going to be there. So it's not like you're losing out on any fun success stories at all.
Right.
Just leave it on them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I share one more thing that I think is pretty cool?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's mindset for voice coaches. I know I learned this lesson the hard way, and I know you guys have too. Your students you will always care far more about your students than they will ever care about you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's probably very true.
That's why we don't get too attached.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, absolutely. That's some words of wisdom right there for sure.
I think so. I mean, what do you think, Tony? I mean, do you think there's something to that?
Absolutely. In fact, I kept thinking about when I was teaching, I had someone observing me and they said, Tony, you know, you're giving out more than the student is giving. Meet them where they are. You're working 10 times harder than they are. Why are you doing that to yourself? Because I'm the more nurturing. I think there's a difference between nurturing and coddling, but y'all might disagree with me on that. But
I'd only disagree because I know her.
because I'm more nurturing. But I did learn to meter myself and not give so much of what's coming back to me.
Mm-hmm. Advice to young coaches that are listening to us. Advice. It's a survival thing. Be careful, because out of the gates, you're really super energetic and you're excited and it's a fun job. And there's just so many lovely things about it, especially early on. But be careful. Don't get too attached to your students, because you'll get let down. You'll get let down as the years go by, and it can kind of make you feel a bit like it's not as much fun anymore. So be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Protect yourself. Protect your energy, yourself, for sure. So, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
What did he do? I didn't see it. For those who are listening, what did you do?
Put up the shield.
Yeah. Okay.
I did the universal voice coach, salute of honor.
His arms are crossed in front of him. For those of you who are listening.
Only listening.
Yeah, only with rock and roll fingers. Yes, absolutely. Rock on, dude. So okay. So how you are now, tell us where and tell us what you're doing and what's really exciting coming down the pike, because I know you got something really cool coming.
Well, with the Vocalist Studio with singing, at the moment we are curating numerous online courses that we're offering on my website. So I have this high-tech website that offers these online courses. People purchase, they go in, they watch videos, and learn how to train. So we are at the moment implementing 10 courses. Of the 10 courses, 6 will be in English, and the others will be in French, Italian, German, and Hindi.
Wow.
So we're going to open up, and it's Vocalist Studio methodology. It's my certified instructor. So we're going to open that up to these these other languages, and there's a lot of technology and headaches that goes into making
Is
it all
that with
work.
sub captions? Is that with captions or
Nope,
somebody voiceovering or what?
nope. We can do captions. I have done captions before in the past, but this is actually certified instructors, TVS certified instructors teaching in their language.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so the interesting segue to that is I'm the one that coached them and helped them and taught them how to get in front of a camera and teach to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So the other part of answering your question is I have in the last 3 years I've pivoted some of my time into an entirely different business, which is called CourseCreek.com. Course as an online course, creek as in a little river, CourseCreek.com, and it's an agency consulting firm where my team and I help other coaches, musicians, but life coaches, business coaches, coaches of any kind, learn how to monetize their expertise through online courses and get scalability. And honestly, that's the thing that's getting me jazzed the most these days, because it's absolutely fantastic to be mindset. As a voice coach, getting into about 25 years, no regrets, loved it, fantastic, still doing it. I have a lesson right after this interview. Still doing it, but there was something that was missing that I had in the past, and something wasn't quite right. It's a long story, but one of the things that wasn't quite right, it sort of ties into what we were talking about a little bit, is that as a voice coach, we tend to sort of sell our time one-on-ones. In particular, the one-on-one is not scalable. It doesn't scale. And after many years of doing that, it can be very frustrating. So I just realized through a few years of commiseration and soul searching mindset, I realized, why is the thing that I used to love so much and I used to define myself by become the thing that is making me so frustrated and sometimes not happy? And I realized it's because at this point in my career as a voice coach, I've underemployed myself and I don't have scalability. And to be completely honest, I'm getting kind of tired of hanging out with adult children. and I can say that because I happen to be one of them. Okay, musicians. Hey, I'm being totally honest with you guys. And the reason I want to be completely frank and honest is because I want the listeners to really get value out of this. And this has changed my life. And I was a man on my knees in tears. Wow. In this big, beautiful studio in Seattle, with a lot of success and tours and everything as a voice coach. And yet not, what's happened? Why am I not happy? Because I've underemployed myself. There's no scalability. And I think I'm getting kind of tired of the crowd a little bit. At least a little bit. I just needed a change. So I pivoted. I put on a jacket. I started marketing to the LinkedIn crowd. And we started offering online courses and helping coaches from all walks of life. And can I just tell you, ladies, it has been a blast.
That's cool. People
from all walks of life. And the other thing that's really fun about it is I'm working with adults. I'm working with people that get their homework done, that show up, that pay their bill, that do all this. And it is just fantastic. Now, I want to preface this by saying I didn't leave voice coaching. It's not something that I'm going to stop ever. It's in my blood. I'll always be doing it. I'll always be a singer, but it's really awesome to be able to do something else as well. So my advice is you don't only have to be a voice coach. It's a beautiful thing, but look inside and take a look at your other skills and talents and be open to carving away a little bit of time to build something else to get a fresh view.
I was just going to say, it sounds like you've really been refreshed. You practiced mindfulness to observe, hey, I'm getting kind of burnt out. What can I do to refresh and recharge? And man, it sounds like you have. So some of the people, who is your market that you're helping with courses? Are there musicians in your, or just really broad spectrum of online courses that you're helping people?
Super broad, Tony. It's everybody. Now, there are a whole bunch of voice coaches. I cut my teeth with voice coaches. So there's lots of musicians. But we have corporate culture transformation people. We have a coach that teaches millennials how to get a job and keep a job. We have 2 relationship therapists.
I'm signing both my sons up for that one.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
about yogis? Do you have a lot of, there's so many like online handstand programs, online learn things. Do you have any
Yoga.
yoga, yogis?
I have two prospects that I'm in conversations right now that are yoga, big deal yoga rock stars. That are the yoga people move a little slower, but we're talking to them about coming on board to do yoga. And there's a special platform. Is that a thing? I'm not aware of it, but
Apparently it is, because she's the yogi of the two of us, and she's like a snail when it comes time to make a decision.
I've noticed that the business guys, like the MBA guys, are like, I give them my presentation on how we're going to help them put their book into an online course, and they're just, dude, you know, I'm dealing with somebody that's like JR from Dallas. Seriously, like, dude, bloop, 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 you need 30 grand. Bloop, 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 bloop. Here you go. Let's go. And that's exciting. But the yoga people, man, it is slow.
They got to move into it and
Yeah.
feel it out and get on the mat.
They're still doing downward dog while I'm already up and going, let's get this shit on the
I want to
road.
do hot diggity dog. Let's get it on. So
Exactly.
So anyway, and we have an anxiety guy, we have a diet person, we have, and I would like to share Claire best for last. Claire is Claire Gangadine. She's a real sweetheart, super talented. She's in England. She's got a cool accent, and she has sort of a yoga workout program for people that ride horses.
Okay.
That's a thing. That's a
All
thing.
right.
I didn't know.
I
And
can
so-
see that.
and
Sounds
mindset.
like goat yoga, only bigger.
Well, no, you know, it's like how to you know, ride in the saddle properly and how to
Pose. You're kind of in that
bump
pose when
down
you're
better. And I don't know what it is, but it's really super cool. She's super sweet. And I helped her make her videos, and she's now up and running, selling an online course that people can watch video content that own horses and learn how and get workouts to, I don't know, get your come hither position better or something.
Well, oh, okay. So do they come to you to get all this done? Are they like in Seattle for a couple of weeks for all the production?
It's all Zoom calls and virtual.
Okay.
And my role in the company is face of the company, done it before, marketing, sales, business development. I'm the first point of contact that clients see. If they decide they want to move forward, what happens is I then hand them over to a team. So the other thing, the mindset thing in my story here, that's super cool that I want to share is that I noticed that as a voice coach after many years, I noticed that it's lonely. Being a voice coach is kind of a lonely occupation, especially if you're, you know, a contemporary. You're not in a school. We're around a lot of people, I presume. That you know, you're sort of solo.
It's still only there.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely. I don't see my colleagues. I'm in an
Okay,
office
it's
with the door shut.
lovely. I mean,
Yeah.
if I could tell you all the Friday nights, the Saturday nights, I just gave blood for 8 to 10 hours, and it's now 7 o'clock, and I'm in a dark, quiet studio, and now finally I get to sing, and I sing by myself, and it's just something really lonely about it. But the new business, I get to lead a team. I get to manage, and it's been super fun. So every Tuesday morning, I'm Robert, the CEO, and I'm managing this talented team from 4 different continents. People coming in, and they're not musicians. They're website builder people. They're instructional design curriculum people, and
What a team. I looked on the site. You've got
How'd you put these people together?
the Pied Piper.
I don't.
Wow. Yes.
That's a good question, Tony. I don't know exactly. All I can say is in my past, even as a voice coach, I found myself I always find myself leading. There's people will get behind me. So here we go again. It's the same Rob you guys love and know. It's the same guy, just with a blazer on and a different service to sell. And anyways, I'm trying to tie it into the singing because I know this is about vocals, but but that's been really fun to be around other bright people and learn from them and feed from them as well. And if I'll tie it back. So when I'm making client presentations, I always show them the Vocalist Studio website. I always tell the story about where I came from and all these things that we've done as a voice coach. And they like that. They tend to really enjoy it. They think it's sort of cool to work with the guy that has this interesting, like you and me, the voice coach thing. It's sort of this cool. It's cool. Like it's cool to the LinkedIn crowd. So they kind of enjoy that.
That's funny. Okay. Wow. Well, that's great. I think this has been good. I think our listeners will love this, especially the young coaches that may be listening in and
I really care about them. I care about them.
Yeah,
Those young
absolutely.
coaches. Yeah. Take our advice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom with us and your energy and the great things you have ahead. And we look forward. I even joined your Course Creek today and searching out a little bit more about you so I could see what you're up to and see.
Yay. That's so cool. You got my little email sequence thing, right?
Got the first one. I'm going to forward it to Denise.
Hey, out at the Vocalist Studio, the singing website, which is thevocaliststudio.com. Don't mind me.
Yeah, so people can find you. Say that one more time so people can find
It'll be in the show notes, but go
All
ahead.
right. So if you want to take a look at the vocal training, it's The Vocalist, one singer, thevocaliststudio.com. Go out there, take a look at that. If you're interested in scalability, online courses, e-learning solutions, go to coursecreek.com. Both websites have a little pop-up, a little lead magnet pop-up that offers you a free mini course. Sign up for both of them. And the one for the singing is pretty cool. It's 10 myth-busting lessons on myth-busting about singing, things that are getting in people's way in their vocal training that we're gonna stomp on and make sure that it doesn't sit in their way in regards to mindset.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for joining us today. All the best and all the things you're doing.
Thank you, ladies. It's a great pleasure and a privilege to be on your show. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Robert, hang in there for just a minute. We're done recording.
Cool.
So Miss Crowder and I, we need to build a course, and we need to build a course to go with our book called The Mindfulness of Singing that we're trying to get into publishers. Now we just started sending out query letters and proposals. But anyway, talk to us about that a little bit.
Sure. Be happy to.
Oops.
I'll share my screen with you.
Thank you.
I know you have a lesson coming, so
That's 30 minutes. I'm ready to go. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't mind.
He's got a lot of prep to do. Ha 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 ha.
Not really. But one of the nice things about having a course is the prep is already in the course. So when I connect with my student 30 minutes from now, he will be logged into the course. We'll have access to the lessons, the vocalese, the training content, and everything, which is the assigned homework as well. So all I'll have to do is, all right, I keep notes on a Evernote on what the homework is, and I just all right, let's hear you do exercise 3B, sing high, bridging connecting 2A is something he's working on this week, and I'm going to watch him do it. And the dog can't eat his assignment because he purchased my course, and that's what I gave him.
Wow,
right.
That's great.
So that's one thing. Okay, so Course Creek, we help coaches, companies, anybody with a good idea, monetize their expertise, achieve scalability, transform the lives of your students internationally. So when we do this, you're immediately going to get international exposure, provided that you're getting traffic to the website. Right? It's the best thing to become a big deal. Best way to become a big deal overnight if you're getting a lot of traffic. There's 845 million English speaking people in the world. It's a pretty big market. And financial freedom, of course, right? So the way we do this is we do it all for you. So it's one of the things that's making Course Creek and my new competitors in this space successful and competitive is we do everything that has to get done, from a twinkle in your eye, an idea, to a launch and driving traffic and making sales. And the way we do that is we break it up into 4 phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 1 is an audit phase. In the audit phase, this is a paid engagement. It's $1,500. So in phase 1, what happens is you meet my team. I bring in instructional designer, implementation managers, a creative director, myself, and our digital marketing specialist. And we sit with you for an hour and a half on a big group Zoom call with the 2 of you, and we do a deep dive needs analysis. They ask questions that I forgot to ask. They ask questions that need to be asked. And at the end of that, what happens is we then provide for you a beautiful presentation, a proposal. The proposal will give you a marketing strategy and technology recommendations, because we're going to deal with technology, websites and pop-ups and email software and stuff that has to make all this stuff run. Okay.
We just had one of those built.
All right. What platform is it on?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a website that we had built by a website company here in Virginia, and
okay. It's a static page web. It's probably a static page platform. We're going to address that on how we can work with that.
It's got a pop up and that sort of thing, but
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Follow along. I'll show you how this goes. So we do this team meeting. We give you a proposal, but also has a budget behind the next phases. Okay. So you say, great, beautiful proposal. That's exactly what we talked about. We're excited. We loved meeting your team. They're really charismatic and seem to be very capable. We feel confident about it. Let's go. Great. I send you a second invoice for phase 2, 3, and 4. This is the bigger investment at this point. In phase 2, what happens is the first thing that happens is I align you with one of our instructional designers. These are specialists that go to school to design course curriculum, learning and development curriculum. And there's best practice and strategies behind that to make an online course engaging, so that the student goes through a transformation from beginning to start, and at the end of that journey, they get a certificate or something happens. And all along the way, it's entertaining, and it's got a lot of things happening to keep them engaged and to educate better. It's a special skill set. The instructional designer will build that with you. And what that looks like is about 4 to 6 one-on-one sessions on a Zoom call where you build out a storyboard and build out your curriculum. Okay. Now, inside your curriculum, there's a couple different ways that you can present a lesson. You can do what we call talking head, where you speak to the camera. So we'll do some talking head content. And then there's animation, where you're a voiceover with animated figures, possibly for some fun stuff. And then there's interactive slides. It's sort of like a PowerPoint slide, but it's dynamic. It's got buttons and whistles and things that activate when you push them. They can quiz on the screen. Okay, pretty neat stuff. When we put talking head, animation, and multimedia slides all together, we call that a blended learning experience. All right, so for seniors, you're probably going to want to do a blended learning experience. So at the end of the other thing that happens here at phase 2, is we also provide a recommendation for video gear, and we give you on-camera coaching. I will personally give you on-camera coaching, which is one of my strengths. So then you create your content. You have the storyboard, the curriculum, the plan. You know how to speak to the camera. You're ready to go. You produce your content. When you're done producing your content, then we take the content and we hand it over to the implementation managers. The implementation managers then go into a learning management system. Now, when I say learning management system, are you familiar with what that means?
You're talking about like a Udemy or Thinkific or?
Yep. Those are learning management systems. A learning management system is simply a website, just like any other website, that has static pages in it, but also has everything that you need to serve online courses. We're on the back end of my learning management system.
Okay, so you use Kajabi, not Udemy or Thinkific?
I use both.
Kajabi.
I use both Udemy and Kajabi with an interesting strategy that I'm going to show you here in a second on how I use both of them. Okay. This is the back end of my flagship singing course here. It's called the 4 Pillars of Singing. All right, this is the learning management system. Notice we're not looking at the about page. We're not looking at the bio page. We're not looking at static content. This is dynamic and moving. And to get in here, you had to make a payment. You had to join a membership. You had to create the login. There's a lot of complexity to make this work. So that's why you don't build courses on WordPress, Squarespace, and Wix, because those are just static website platforms where the LMS is a little bit more techie oriented to be able to serve a course. I'll show you what one of these looks like. How about, oh, what the hell, doesn't matter. Anchoring the larynx. So here I am, got a nice video in the middle.
This video is about larynx dampening, or more specifically, tuning the vocal tract.
Okay, so a bit of a dated video. I have current ones in here as well, but drop in a nice video, and you have content here. All right, some pictures and what have you, and then maybe a quiz. If I go up here to my dashboard, the way we've built this out is my course is built in 5 stages. In order to get to the next stage, you have to pass the quiz at the end of stage 1. To get to stage 3, you have to pass the end of the quiz on stage 2. So I'm pretty serious about it. And the way they pass is they actually fill out a quiz. They have to get an 80% on the quiz, and they have to make a peer review, a dropout of peer review. So there'll be a workout or something that they need to deliver to the built-in community. With this course is a built-in Facebook type private community that all my students are going to engage with each other and engage with me and other coaches. And they drop in part of their homework out there. It's real fun. Here at the library, the other thing that I did that I could do for you as well is you'll notice that both of these say the 4 pillars of singing. This is the course with the lecture content in it. This is a training page. So if I click on this, the student goes out to a similar interface, but what is out here is actually workouts. So here's a pentatonic workout that I developed. Light on lecture, heavy on demonstration.
Oh, babe.
Okay, I provide my students with a video demonstration. They train over the video. When they're done training over the video, they move to the notation, or they can play the file here without Robert and train. It's the same backing track. The backing track comes in 2 different. One set starts on low C for men. The other one starts on low G for women, and they come into 2 different speeds. So my point in this is with my course, and we could do it for you guys, which would be very cool, is there's 2 user interfaces that they get when they purchase. The lecture that you sort of expect to see, that stuff. And then there's like a 1-page training tool that they go out to practice and do the vocalese.
Wow.
So that's the LMS. Getting back to our quick little tour here. A little bit about what those look like. So we've created the content and we start implementing here at the LMS. The learning management system. There's a couple different implementations. A phase 3A implementation is when we make a mini course on Udemy. Okay, so here are all of my mini courses on Udemy. Show you this. These are all my courses on Udemy, and this is what it has done on Udemy.
Holy shit.
I'm telling you.
Okay, Robert, I'm going to quit my teaching job in academia and come work for you.
This changed my life. I'm sitting in, ladies, I'm sitting in a brand new home in the mountains of Idaho, in Sun Valley, Ketchum, Idaho. And I moved from Seattle last year, and in part because of this. And it's not only this, but it's 63,454 new students took my mini course at Udemy. All right. And then what happened was, through this platform funneling technique, I then took them to a funnel.
Yeah.
You get a sense what's going to happen. Let me show you. Let me show you this. This is pretty clever. We'll build this for you. Nobody else knows how to do this, by the way. This is the student view of the Udemy mini course. And come in here, and the second lesson in the mini course is specifically designed to tell them about the external training page. There's an external training page they need to go out to that sits out at my website that I just showed you. So they're going to click on that external training page, and they go out to the external training page. And here at the external training page, it's like the training page I previously showed you for the full course students where they practice and train. While they're out here, they get a pop-up. I capture their email. I give them that free sequence I was talking about in the show, and then they upgrade to the full course. Or they might click on this banner right here. Oh, geez, I'm having a lot of fun with Coach Robert. I want more. What? Oh, there's more? I thought the Udemy was all he had. No, he's got more. Let's find out what it is. So they click on this, they land out here, and they get this.
Hello, I'm Robert Lunte, and welcome to the full course offer page. If you're on this page, it's because you're already a training vocal athlete and you have probably already greatly improved your motor skills and strength for your singing voice. That's fantastic. Congratulations. And it's great to have you as a student. But did you know that the light version of the course that is found on other websites is not the full version of the course?
No.
I know that sounds crazy because
I didn't know that.
Tell me more, Robert.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Oh, wow. You mean I can get the full book, not just the first 100 pages? I can get the full 616 pages. I can get download files, which singers want, you know that. I can get access to more courses. I get access to that community where I can meet other people that took the course and build relationships. I'm in. I'm going to scroll all the way down here to this conversion copy page. It's well done. And I'm going to up for $349 to get the full course. When they buy this, before they check out, the LMS pops up and says, oh, do you want Robert's belting course too? It's only an extra $149. Just click right here. They click on it, boom, they get out to the checkout. Now they purchased 2 courses. And then it says, here's the book. So what started as a $179 deal turned into a $500 order. Now, that process I just explained to you, I just walked you through, uploading the mini course to Udemy so that we can create the platform funneling is a phase 3A implementation. Okay. Now, out at your website where your full course and your book is going to be sold, okay, we have 2 options, a 3B or 3C. A 3B is when you keep your new website. You keep the one you just built. Why? Well, because it looks great.
Because we just paid $3,000 for it. That's why.
No, seriously, you just paid $3,000 for it and it looks fine. There's no need to disrupt it. Just keep it. And what we do is at that website, we add a new link that says, forgive me. Oh yeah, the Mindset Singing Academy. They click on the link. It bounces over to Kajabi or LearnWorlds, one of these fancy learning management systems. We match the branding and they make the purchase and they have the online course experience over at the LMS. So your current website continues to be static content. The LMS continues to be all the movement in the engines and they're just linked together. We call that a 3B. A 3C is when we take the content that's in your current new website and we migrate it. We migrate it over to the LMS and the learning management system houses both your static content and the course content together. The benefit of that is economy of scale and less bills and less headaches when you need to prepare things. We call that a phase 3C. I think you're a 3B client because you just did a nice new website and it's probably looks great. Phase 4 is when the courses are all up and running. We made a plan, we created the content, we did a mini course and put together this cool platform funneling strategy. And we did a full course on the new learning management system. Now we need a CD release party. Now we have a new product and what we're going to do is we're going to grab the list, your existing clients, your existing students. We're going to maybe do some paid advertising into a landing page, some social media efforts, and we're going to bring everybody in for a big party and you're going to do a launch campaign. And the launch campaign, there's 4 kinds of launch campaigns. All right, webinars, closed enrollment, challenges, and telephone calls. I'll just cut to the chase. You guys probably look like a challenge. All right, what's a challenge? Challenge is all you're getting, you're selling this thing. It's a free event. People are signing up. At the end of August, the last week of August, Denise and Tony are going to do a live broadcast, 5 days, live broadcast, mindset and singing for 5 days. And they're going to tell you a little bit about their new course and the new program they put together. They've been working on this year as well. But come to this event. Each day, you're going to be trained something different about singing that you'll be able to take away, high value, that you get a lot out of. All right? And it's sort of a workshop. It's a hands-on thing. You may provide them with a little workbook or some notes or something that they have to put together. Maybe they sing in front of you and they take turns. It's a little workshop. On the 5th day, everybody knows it's coming, but they're having fun. They've gotten to know you. They've gotten to know your content. And at the end of the day, say, okay, here we go. Have you guys had a good time? Yay, we've had a good time. 1,000 people on Zoom. Great fan. Are you ready? Yay, we're ready. Great. Okay, here we go. We're going to open the cart. You open the cart at 12 o'clock noon on Friday, and they can get the new course and the mini course and the 1 hour a week group call with Denise and Tony and the community and all the benefits for $2,000. And that's half the price that it's going to be in the future. And we're closing the cart in 72 hours. So you got 72 hours to make a commitment and get the full course and this whole beautiful package we put together for you. And then we're shutting the cart down in 72 hours. And let me tell you what, the fear of loss and a sense of urgency in human behavior will blow your mind. I personally know
Scarcity.
I know people, my mentors, that have done this and have made $120,000 in 3 days.
Wow.
The launch campaign is designed to pay for the total investment getting there. The assets that are created for the launch campaign, the pop-up, the specialized landing page that talks about the launch campaign, all of that can also be repurposed. So then you cycle this thing every 90 days, you do another launch campaign, and that's something we built for you. In the launch campaign, it's also a project managed by my team. That means they'll be there when you do the event. They're going to help you with the signups to put it all together. The final piece is SEO, on-site and off-site SEO, social media management, and paid advertising provided by somebody that's not a snake, not somebody that's going to rip you off and doesn't know what they're doing in the digital marketing world. I don't know if ladies have ever dealt with it, but I've dealt with a lot of problems in the digital marketing world. It's sort of, it's high risk, and that's being polite. I searched high and low because I knew I was going to have to recommend something to my clients. My clients need this. We all need this. And I found somebody that is a world-class professional. His name is Mike Giaprini. He's on the team page. He's been doing it for 30 years. He's high customer service, high integrity, and he'll set this all up for you and make it profitable for you so you get a nice ROI. That's how we do it all for you. A consultation with a presentation with executable tasks, and you meet the team. Then we have a creation phase, which you ladies will do just great with. We're going to create the content, but you'll have guidance with a professional instructional designer to do it. We make a mini course. We put it on Udemy to get paid, make some revenue there, and siphon that traffic off into your full course, which will sit in a 3B. I'm recommending that you probably do Learn Worlds. That's the platform that would be better, Learn Worlds or Kajabi. And then when everything's done, we do a really fun launch campaign. You blow it out, you get your money back. And then from that point forward, it's just sort of hovering around here with your social media management, and you're having a blast. That's how you do it.
Wow. Yeah, it's something I've been talking about for a long time. And I think I mentioned in one of our emails that I built a Voice 101 course and sold it to some arts magnet high schools. And now I'm going to try to get it into some community colleges, but it's not going to scale the way Udemy did for you. I mean, not in a million years.
Well, that doesn't account for the sales or the upsells on the full course as well. I mean, my accountant called me this year from last year, and I'm like, you got to be flipping kidding me. It's something's not right. No, you got to be kidding me.
Good for you.
Yeah, I owe the government $39,000.
Oh, see, libertarian here.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but do the math. So,
Right.
so I'm just sharing that with you because, you know, voice coach to voice coach, I was a miserable son of a bitch. Honestly, I was playing it light in the show. I was miserable in some regards because I just getting tired. I don't want to only sell my time, and I want to work with a different kind of crowd for a while. And I wanted to, honestly,
I get that. I'm sick of academia. I'm gonna leave it as soon as I possibly can. I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm over it. I'm leaving as soon as I can.
Exactly, dear. Exactly. And the thing is it's just that, you know, I have students in Seattle that were coming in, they're my age and they're retiring. And like, but I'm still here teaching Johnny how to sing a note, and I know he's not practicing. And if I have to do, you know, if I have to sing another Adele song one more time, I'm gonna absolutely kill myself.
Right.
And is this all there is for me? Like 20 years ago, it was really super cool. It was actually a preferred gig. People, you know, but at 40, 45, 50 years old, it's like, I don't know. It's, I'm going to do it in about 5 minutes, but that's all I do. Right now, all I do is I teach 4 hours a week on Fridays, $300 an hour. If you want to spend $300 an hour to get in front of me, I'll saddle up and I'll give you an old school lesson like we used to do in Seattle. If you're not going to do that, I don't have time for it, because I got people spending 20, 30 grand over here. And seriously, it's easy. I fought harder to sell a $300 course than I have to get someone to cut me a check for 24 grand. And I would love to help you guys.
Okay, well, we'll holler back at you. I know you got to go.
Tony looks terrified.
Well, Tony, he absolutely is terrified, and it will take me, Robert. It's going to take me a couple of months to get her to come around.
Tell you the turtle, the yogi over here. That's, you know, like.
Yeah. When you hear our introduction to our podcast, you'll understand everything.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice
when
you bond with you. I would keep chatting if I didn't have to run.
That's good.
Thank you for your generosity of time. No, I enjoyed it. And I may look like, that's because I know Denise is going to be prodding me. That face you saw was like, oh dear.
Let's talk about it. And by the way, I'm throwing around some big numbers. You don't have to get the whole thing, by the way. A lot of people just do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3A and stop at the mini course and sort of let that be sort of where you cut your teeth. You do the mini course and then get some revenue, get some customers, take a breather, and then get ready for the big push. That's another way of trying to do it. And the mini course, only those first 3 phases, is $8,500.
Okay.
We
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.